Hold onto your seats, NBA fans. The Chicago Bulls just dropped a bombshell that's shaking the league to its core. In a move nobody saw coming, they've snatched up Jrue Holiday in a deal that's got everyone from LeBron to KD doing a double take. Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. We've got you covered with breaking news, trade rumors, and in-depth analysis of everything Bulls. If you haven't heard yet, you might want to sit down for this one because the Chicago Bulls have just pulled off the signing of the century. That's right, folks, Jrue Holiday is coming to the Windy City. Now, before we dive into all the juicy details and what this means for the Bulls and the rest of the league, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss our coverage of this seismic shift in the NBA landscape. Alright, let's break this down piece by piece, because there's a lot to unpack here. First off, let's talk about how this bombshell dropped. The Chicago Bulls had somehow, someway, managed to sign Jrue Holiday to a 3-year, $96 million contract. The basketball world collectively lost its mind, and for good reason. Let's take a moment to appreciate just what the Bulls are getting in Jrue Holiday. We're talking about a 2-time All-Star, a 4-time All-Defensive Team member, and an NBA champion. Last season with the Bucks, Holiday averaged 19.3 points, 7.4 assists, and 5.1 rebounds per game. But it's not just the numbers, it's the intangibles that make Holiday such a game changer. His lockdown defense is the stuff of legends. Just ask some of the league's top scorers who've had to face him. Devin Booker once said, and I quote, "Jrue Holiday is the best defender in the NBA, there's no question about it." That's high praise coming from one of the most prolific scorers in the game. But Holiday isn't just a defensive specialist. His offensive game is smooth as silk, with a lethal mid-range jumper and the ability to create for others. He's a floor general in every sense of the word, capable of controlling the tempo of the game and making everyone around him better. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Bulls. Chicago has been in a bit of a limbo these past few seasons. They've had moments of brilliance, but they've struggled to put it all together consistently. With Holiday in the mix, that could all change. Imagine a starting lineup of Jrue Holiday, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. That's a formidable 5 that can compete with anyone in the East. Holiday's presence immediately elevates the Bulls' defense, which has been a weak point in recent years. His ability to pressure opposing guards and disrupt offensive sets will be a game changer for Chicago. On the offensive end, Holiday's playmaking should take a lot of pressure off LaVine and DeRozan. We could see both of these scorers become even more efficient with Holiday setting them up for better looks. And let's not forget about Vooch. Holiday's pick-and-roll game could rejuvenate the big man's offensive output. But it's not just about the starting 5. Holiday's arrival has a trickle-down effect on the entire roster. Kobe White can now settle into a 6th-man role, where his scoring punch off the bench could be lethal. Alex Caruso, another defensive menace, can team up with Holiday to form one of the most suffocating backcourt duos in the league. The signing of Holiday also sends a clear message to the rest of the NBA: the Bulls are all in. This isn't a team looking to rebuild or retool, they're gunning for a championship, and they're doing it now. Now, I can already hear some of you asking, but what about the fit? Can Holiday coexist with LaVine and DeRozan? It's a fair question, but I'm here to tell you why this trio could be basketball magic. First off, Holiday is the perfect complement to LaVine and DeRozan's scoring prowess. He's not a guy who needs 20 shots a game to be effective. His game is all about efficiency and making the right play. With LaVine's explosive athleticism and DeRozan's mid-range mastery, Holiday can pick his spots and keep defenses honest with his shooting and driving ability. More importantly, Holiday's defensive impact cannot be overstated. He can take on the toughest perimeter assignment night in and night out, allowing Levine and DeRozan to conserve energy for the offensive end. This could lead to even more explosive scoring performances from Chicago's dynamic duo. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. This signing isn't just about X's and O's, it's a statement of intent from the Bulls front office. They're showing the fan base, the players, and the entire league that they're serious about contending. In a league where super teams seem to form overnight, the Bulls are throwing their hat in the ring. It's also worth noting the timing of this move. With the NBA's new CBA kicking in and putting restrictions on how super teams can be formed, smart front offices are looking for creative ways to build contenders. The Bulls saw an opportunity with Holiday and struck while the iron was hot. Speaking of the front office, let's give some credit where it's due. Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley pulled off a masterclass here. They managed to keep this deal under wraps until the last minute, outmaneuvering several other teams who were surely in the Holiday sweepstakes. This move also shows that the Bulls are willing to spend to win. The $96 million price tag is steep, but in today's NBA, that's the cost of doing business if you want to compete for championships. The Bulls' ownership is putting their money where their mouth is, and fans should be ecstatic about that commitment. Speaking of Donovan, this move is a huge vote of confidence in him as well. The front office is giving him a loaded roster and essentially saying, "Here you go, now make it work." It'll be fascinating to see how Donovan integrates Holiday into his system and maximizes the potential of this new-look Bulls team. Another thing to keep an eye on is how this affects the Bulls' future flexibility. With big money committed to Holiday, Levine, DeRozan, and Vucevic, the Bulls are pretty much capped out for the foreseeable future. They'll need to be creative in filling out the rest of the roster and might have to rely heavily on player development and finding diamonds in the rough. But let's be real, these are good problems to have. The Bulls are in win-now mode, and they've got the pieces to make some serious noise in the East. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to appreciate the excitement of moments like these. This is why we love the NBA, folks. The landscape can change in an instant, and suddenly, a team can go from middle of the pack to potential contender. For Bulls fans, this is a moment to savor. After years of rebuilding and retooling, your team is making a clear push for greatness. Jrue Holiday isn't just a great player, he's a symbol of the Bulls' ambition and commitment to winning. From Jordan's Bulls of the 90s to the D-Rose era, and now to this new chapter with Holiday, Levine, and DeRozan, the story of the Chicago Bulls continues to be one of the most compelling in sports. So, what do you think, Bulls fans? Are you ready for the Jrue Holiday era in Chicago? How far do you think this team can go? Let me know in the comments below. And for all you NBA fans out there, keep your eyes on the Windy City. The Bulls are back, and they're coming for the crown. That's all for now, but trust me, we'll be covering every aspect of this blockbuster move in the coming days and weeks. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, keep balling and go Bulls!